I really love when you said they are still curious about life. I think when we become isolated and in our own world, that's when we become a little bit reclusive. And the fact that these people are curious, and I think as I get older, I want to learn more. I'm curious about things, and I think that's an important tool out there for the audience to realize that if you just become a lifelong learner and start to get curious about your world, how things work, or travel a bit, it's amazing how your world begins to open up. And then also Catherine said something about they have a purpose. Now talk to us a little bit about purpose. I know you said something about social justice, but there is something about having a purpose when you get older that really feeds our soul, because it's not, our world is not just about ourselves, it becomes about other people. So do you have anything to say about purpose so that people can identify, maybe I can have a purpose to make a difference in this chapter of my life?
Yeah, and I think the purpose can be as grand as continuing to work as a social activist, around major social issues. It can also be something that is more personal, and you're touching people around you, family, friends, helping people to feel more connected, that they matter. I think mattering is a really important aspect of purpose.
A lot of older people start writing their memoirs.
Oh, and to pass on. Yeah,
that's their legacy, and that gives them great purpose, because they have lives they've led that sometimes your family really doesn't know about.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so it's a way to share it, and that gives them purpose. It's I think it's a matter of not saying to yourself, I can't, but rather, what can I do?
And do I want to do, and not just I have these skills and therefore I should do whatever somebody asks me to contribute to. It's that alignment of what are my values, what do I really care about now, how can I make a difference, how do I take care of me, which I think is a challenge for many women, to switch from feeling like I'm self-indulgent to this is really about self-care.
Right, at this age, yes, I hear you. And Gail mentioned something about your memoirs. I think that I know of companies that will actually videotape, and I would even think of videotaping. I wish I had done this with Tim's grandparents because of the history of where they came from in the early 1900s. Mm-hmm. And so I would suggest to anybody out there who wants to pass something on to their children like that, start videotaping yourself. You don't have to necessarily get a company. You can just start videotaping yourself and talk about those days gone by. I think that's a great idea. So why is your podcast important to the world?
So, we really want to silence this myth that women become invisible as they age, right? And as we've been telling you, our interviews show that the women that we know are not becoming silent as they age. We also want to spread the conversation across generations so that younger women are inspired to embrace aging, and we participate in our forums. And our goal is to join the worldwide movement that recognizes intergenerational experience and becomes voices for change.
Right. That's cool. And where would you like, say in a year, where would you like your podcast to be, just to continue on and having all these exciting guests and gathering a larger audience?
Well, we certainly envision that the podcasts will continue on. We may do a little bit more, have some focused topics or themes that we offer from time to time, but we do like this sort of organic approach to women. Our guests appear in one way or another, and we want to showcase them. I think the podcast we would like to. We already are starting now to offer some programs here within the Chicago area for different groups, and we would love to do more of that. We have in mind offering some retreats.
Oh, good.
Yes, we have no no dearth of ideas.
Yes, no limit on your dreams, right? Right.
We do need relatively soon to obtain some sponsors, because this is a labor of love and coming out of our own pockets. So eventually, as we build the podcast and build our own active voices for aging, then we are wanting sponsors and donations and more exposure.
Well, I'm going to tell you that's going to happen. This is exciting to hear about this dream, because this is needed. And I'm going to tell women that I know would benefit from your podcast, because this is so. I love what that lady said that was listening to your show, that it's changed her life. Mm-hmm. And when you know that lives are being changed, it's all worth it. The sacrifice is worth it. And then that's when the dreams come, because you can say, well, I've done the podcast. What else can I do to serve these ladies?
Yes.
Like a retreat. I mean, that would be wonderful. With you, I can just see it now. But I have to wait till I'm 70.
Yeah, I was so excited to turn 70 so I could qualify for our own podcast.
So, okay, so tell us again how people can get a hold of you. We've got a few minutes left, and let them know the name of the podcast once again, and so that they can get a hold of you.
Yes, so the name of the podcast is Women Over 70, Aging Reimagined, and they can find us on our website, womenover70.com. And they can find us on our Facebook group, Women Over 70, and we hope that they will listen and maybe even rate and review and subscribe. So,
and some might be a guest.
Yes, absolutely. If anybody knows anyone who is over 70 and would like to be a guest on our show, please, they can email us at info@womenover70.com.
Great idea. Great idea. You know, I found it's wonderful to talk to you too. And I found that as we age, life even gets better and better. You don't worry so much about what other people are thinking. And that's a joy to not worry. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you realize that self-care is not being selfish. I was always brought up that was, I felt like kind of selfish to me, but we learned that we don't worry about what people think, and we get curious with our world. And that's what you've shown us today. And I love that. I would like you to answer one more question as we part. What do you believe is the single most important character quality that would produce resilience? We need resilience as we age. So what would you say is one of the single most important qualities?
I would say that it's facing your fears.
Facing your fears and going through them, right? Yeah.
Through them and looking for the cup that's half full.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like that. I like that too. I think I would go back to the being curious again. Mm-hmm. That to be resilient is to be curious about what is happening to me or to others around me. How can I frame this in a way that, as Gail said, is going to give me forward? I can move forward. I'm not moving backwards, or I'm going toward, not going away from.
Right, right. Yes, and I have loved that theme through this show is being curious. Because as I said, if we're not curious, then our world pulls inward. But when we're curious, we're looking out there. And we've got an amazing world, don't we, ladies?
Yes, we do.
Much to be curious about.
Yes.
Absolutely. Every day is an adventure. So I want to tell you, this was an adventure to be with you, Catherine and Gail. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
We love the name of your show.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you. And remember out there, it is never too late. It's never too late to be curious. It's never too late to follow your dreams. It is never too late to live a life of purpose. It is just never too late, ever. Goodbye, and we'll see you next week. And bye, Gail and Catherine. Thank you for coming in.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.